We have a choir in studio, the Redforth Choir. Actually, am I supposed to call them the Redforth Chorus or the Redforth Choir?
The Redforth Chorus.
The Redforth Chorus is in studio, and here to represent is Wandiri Karimi.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We're about to talk about so many things right now. But before we begin, the choir is going to perform for us. Any idea of what to expect?
Oh, just wonderful music.
Wonderful music.
They joined us. I'm the co-founder of the African Women's Orchestra, and they joined us for this season in March. So we do a show every March in honor of the International Women's Day. And this time we had a collaboration with Redforth Chorus, and this is one of the songs that they performed.
We're about to enjoy some really, really good music from the choir. Take it away. Oh yes, that is the Red Fourth Chorus. And as they prepare another song, I'm still here with Wandiri Karimi, and we're here to talk about the Africa Women's Orchestra. Such a beautiful initiative. It's all about empowering the woman.
Yes.
And it started in 2017.
In 2017.
Wow.
So I am a guitarist, actually, who studied law. Yes, I am.
Are you serious?
I'm very serious.
Let me just confess, even before we continue, I've been trying to learn guitar for the longest time.
It's an easy instrument.
But how do you get used to the finger thing? Because I get hurt whenever I try to, you know.
I say playing an instrument is like going to the gym. You have to keep doing it until your muscles don't forget.
When you put it that way,
you get it, right?
You know, I get where my gut is coming from, because I'm not, putting my time in. So I need to put my time in.
Put your time in. It's like a sport. So your muscles have to remember, and you have to keep doing it. But
beautiful.
When I started playing guitar, I was probably like I would be in a band, and then I'd be the only girl in the band. So when Kezia and I, who's the conductor, the lead conductor and the co-founder of the Women's Orchestra, we went on a tour once, and we were going with an orchestra at the time. And we had this conversation about how it was to be one of the few women or the only woman in the room, and how that feels. It's sort of like sometimes unsafe, because of course sometimes some guys just don't like having girls in their room. Some guys just, so we just thought, let's have a safe space for women to express themselves, a space where we can share our journeys, share our skills. And what happened is, when we started in 2017, on the 8th of March, just all the women who are playing instruments and orchestral instruments at the time just came and joined, and we had, I think, over 50 women on stage the first time. Whoa. And then we started collaborating, of course, with choirs and dancers, because it's the celebration of women in the performing arts. So, and this year we thought we would do something with Red Fourth Chorus, but it's been just a journey of growth. And when we also realized that people from other places were also coming. So I think in 2019, we had a Ugandan trumpeter come and join us. So, and that's now where we started thinking, what next? How do we grow this? Not just being a Nairobi-based orchestra, how do we include other women from other spaces? And how do we also talk about the African story, not just about the Kenyan story, but the African story? So this year, we were also fortunate to be playing with Mayonde, who is a Kenyan Rwandese artist. So it was a fantastic experience this last week, this International Women's Day week. Yes, it's
such a beautiful thing that you're doing, for not just for these young ladies, because like you put it, it's creating a safe space for women to be creative.
Exactly. And I think when sometimes people don't understand, there are certain things that we have to think about as women that men do not. For example, when we started, rehearsal time used to start at 4:30. We had to move up our rehearsal time to 4, because in the first quarter of the year, the sun goes down at about 6:37. So that by the time we finish at 6, our young ladies are home by 7. So that's just a small thing that most people don't have to think about, but for women, we have to think about it. So small things like that. After rehearsal, how do people get home? We have to make sure everybody gets home. Your section leader needs to know, are you home yet? Guys, you just carry your instrument. Kama unataka kwenda home, kama hujafika, nobody really thinks about it. But for us, how we bring each other up is important. And I think it's been quite a journey, and we're really grateful for actually the sisterhood that has come to make sure that this event happens. Whether we like it or not, Kez and I have had people who've come around us and said, no, you cannot cancel the event, you must do this event. And it's sisters who come and say, what do you need? How do I help? How do I put you on how do I help you with promotion? How do I run your social media page? So there's so many women who are not here, who've actually made this event, particularly this 7th one that we did this last week happen. So it's a real good story about sisters coming together to help each other move forward, which was our theme, moving forward. Moving forward.
And moving forward, I hope more people, more women take your leadership skills and implement them and empower these young ladies even more, not just in creative spaces, but in more areas, you know, because I believe, you know, it's just an amazing thing even to think about it, because, you know, I have sisters, I have daughters. So when I think about, you know, more women, creating more safe spaces for all women, amazing. And I have to say, we have to talk about the allies. I mean, some of the people who, men who have come up and you know, helped us with music, helped us with workshops. I mean, because it's not just about men, it's also about it's not just about women, but it's about men helping women get here. Yeah. And on that note, we're going to come back with more from Wandiri Karimi. Such a beautiful Asante. And of course more with the Red Fourth Chorus. We'll be back after this.
Na kuyabale kabo nanya heo shona nanya heo shona huyabaleka usatane na kuyabale kabo nanya heo shona nanya heo shona Satane, Tina Singobile, how Tina Singobile, Tina Singobile, Tina Singobile, Atina single beer. Usata, Atina single beer. Usata, Atina single beer. Usata, Ekasieleka. Usata, Atina single beer. Usata, Atina single beer. Usata, Atina single beer. Usata, Ekasieleka. Usata, Atina single beer. Usata, Atina single beer. Usata, Atina single beer. Usata, Ekasieleka. Usata, Atina single beer. Usata, Atina single beer. Usata, Atina single beer. Usata, Ekasieleka. Usata, na heo shona na heo shona uyabale usatane nanya.
That was the Red Fourth Chorus, and stay tuned. They have one more song just for us here, just for us here in Good Morning Kenya. Sometimes you have to laugh at it.
You must.
It makes the life go more
serious.
smooth. It's never that serious.
Never that serious.
And we're still here with Wandiri Karimi. We're talking about the Africa Women Orchestra.
Yes.
Let's talk more about it. It started in 2017, but this year's edition, you've decided to add a few more people from, Burundi.
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about that, the inclusion that is now part of, the Africa Women's Orchestra.
So I think one of the things that, and some of these things have just happened. I was just talking about the allies that we've had. Fila Tuju, who is the one who founded the Red Fourth Chorus. We had this discussion, and of course, Red Fourth is actually a mixed chorus. So the men sat back this season, and the women joined us. But what we've noticed is that more and more people want to be part of this narrative. So the International School of Uganda actually sent one of their music teachers to come and have workshops with our brass players. She's a trumpeter, and so the trumpeter, trombonists who are playing with our orchestra got to have workshops with El, who is Burundi Congolese. So it was just I would call it an East African orchestra. That's what we put together, and of course the young ladies from Red Fourth were also singing with the orchestra.
In terms of the inclusion of different locales, are there plans to make it global?
Oh yes, I mean that's why we are called the African.
But you would have to do a name change then.
No.
The Global Women's Orchestra.
African. We are on this soil, and I think the story is important that we are in African soil, and we need to have the conversation about Africans, because our story is the one that needs to be told. Of course, there are philharmonic orchestras in every city, and they have a different story that they need to tell. But for us, this is something that's unique. That's happening here. But if we are able to grow and have conversations about us, because one of the other things we do is we take music from artists and we arrange it for them and perform with them.
There's another interesting thing that I think you guys are doing in terms of the cultural significance.
Yes.
It's even the locations and for the events that you pick.
Yes.
Tell me about that. What influenced that decision?
So first of all, we started off at the National Theatre, the Kenya National Theatre. So the Kenya Cultural Centre has been a great partner of the Women's Orchestra for the longest time. But then we had our first performance at the National Museum of Kenya in 2022. So and then this year we actually took the event to another National Museums of Kenya space in Karen Blixen. And our hope is that we can be able to perform at different museum locations, because of course these are places that people need to come, because what I realize is a lot of people don't even visit the places that are actually available to them. So it's not just about the music, but also creating a reason for people to visit these places. The other thing that we've seen is in our collaboration. So you've heard about the collaboration with Red Fourth. We've collaborated with Motra Dramas, which is modern traditional dramas that were put together by Kasiva Mutua, who is TED Fellow, One Beat Fellow, percussionist who has played all around the world. And she was doing the same. What we're doing with the women's orchestra, what we're doing with the musicians that we are working with, she's doing the same with percussionists. So there's a whole group of percussionists who played with us. So collaborating with like-minded people who are putting women in the performing space together. Yeah. So
now, in terms of like, okay, there's like in Mayonde were coming through as well.
Yes.
And I'm looking at all these, women. Let me say this: women in power, yourself included. It's not just about music, is it? There's also workshops. Let's talk about that. What do you teach these young ladies?
So in over the 7 editions that we've had people come from different places. So while we're talking about the global aspect of it is sometimes a musician is visiting and they say, oh, there's a women's orchestra in Kenya, can I come and do a workshop? So actually this season we had a French saxophone player who came and worked with our woodwind musicians. This is the flutes, the clarinets, they had a workshop like that. So the global aspect of it is sharing that knowledge. So those workshops, those master classes have been part of it. We are organizing together with the people who were part of this season, looking at other stories of other women in other jurisdictions who have had the same kind of struggle. Because I don't know whether people are aware, yes, we are doing an African women's orchestra, but for the longest time in other orchestras, the women were not, they started playing probably in this century. Well, the last century is when they started allowing women to play in the orchestras. Otherwise, they were all male. They started something called blind auditions, where you'd auditions behind a curtain so that people don't know that whether it's a man or a woman who is auditioning, because they would not allow women to play. So this struggle that we are having about being a female instrumentalist is not just an African issue. It's a global issue. It's a global issue. The Berlin Orchestra just had their first woman conductor in 100 and something years. So it's not just here. The story of women needs to be told, and we need to be in a space that allows us to be at the forefront, of course with the help of all the allies that we can get.
As we wind up, there's something I want to ask you. What does it mean personally to you?
Well, I think starting off, like I said, as a guitarist who was usually the only woman on stage, to stand on stages with at times over 100 women and playing with them has been a really rewarding and fulfilling experience. And I look forward to, of course, growing those numbers, inspiring more young women, so that a young girl who's 5 years old, who watches this on TV or on Instagram or whatever, is inspired to continue to do it. Because one of the other things that people do is that we play music as women, and then we stop at one point. I have kids. I play with my kids, and as women we need to play until we can play no more. And that's what I'd like to inspire. I'd like to see the orchestra with 80-year-olds and 12-year-olds playing together. Such
a beautiful thing. So, thank you so much for coming through to Good Morning Kenya. Thank you for sharing your story, and of course, wish you nothing but the very best with the African Women's Orchestra.
Asante.
How do we become part of it? There's some people who are watching and they really want to, join. Please
follow us on our socials. We have our website, Africa Women's Orchestra, and stay in touch. Give us. Send us a DM, send us an email, corporate@africanwomensorchestra.org. That's our email address. But the website, if you just type in Africa Women's Orchestra, you will find us. And for Red Fourth too, please follow them on their socials, Red Fourth Chorus United.
Thank you so much. And talking about Red Fourth, we're about to join them for some more music. Thank you so much for tuning in to Good Morning Kenya. Until next week, it's nothing but entertainment. Red Fourth, take it away.
Volo, volo, ema, que sí. kamashu sisaba mavolovolo wema ngekesi kamashu sisaba mavolovolo wema 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 ngekesi kamashu sisaba mavolovolo wema ngekesi kamashu sisaba mavolovolo wema lo wema. Avulekile. Avulekile masangazo. Yebo kunjalo kunjalo kunjalo. Kunjalo kunjalo kunjalo. Yebo kunjalo kunjalo kunjalo. Yo. Amen. Avulekile masangazo. Yebo kunjalo kunjalo kunjalo. Yebo kunjalo kunjalo kunjalo. Yebo kunjalo kunjalo kunjalo. Yo. Yebo kunjalo 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 yebo kunjalo 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 yo amen hi 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 yo amen hi 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 one love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright. Yebo, 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 amen. Avulekile masangazo. Yebo, 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 amen. One love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright. Chikiti nyako, chikiti nyako, kikikwen, gigma azwacho. Chikiti nyako, kikikwen, gigma asewacho. Your life is just beginning, a chapter the beginning. But I've got some words I'd like you to hold on to. Your life is just beginning, a chapter the beginning. But I've got some words I'd like you to hold on to. Chikiti nyako, chikiti nyako, kikikwen, gigma azwacho.
Red Fourth Chorus Ladies Edition. Thank you so much for coming through. I need one of you to come and talk to us,
Okay.
if you may.
Yeah.
What's your name? And tell us a bit about the ladies.
Fantastic. My name is Shelmith Naiko. I am a part of the Red Fourth Chorus. So the Red Fourth Chorus is a group of young, basically throughout children to even people to 60 years old, so all categorized according to our age. And it's a place where our director, Mr. Philip Tuju, decided that he wants to mentor young people to grow in music. He wants to bring people from all walks of life, all traditions, from all over the place. It is absolutely free, so it's just literally just, he is just giving back to the society in the music space.
Okay, now I have a group question.
Yeah.
How do I get that?
That's, we have an amazing Red Fourth Academy Music and Dance. One is in South B and one is in the Roslyn Rivera Mall at Trunda. So yes, you come register for voice classes and I'm pretty sure you'll be brilliant.
One last question for you ladies. What does the African Women's Orchestra mean to you?
Oh my goodness, the orchestra. I think it's one of the most inspiring things that we have been able to reach this far and to be able to come onto stage and have an audience as women. Usually the men had a step ahead of most women, whether it was instruments, especially for instruments more than for the voice. So for me to see the people at the Women's Orchestra doing such an amazing job is, I think we all look up to them and we appreciate being a part of the project because it uplifts us and it shows us that we're not alone. Someone else somewhere feels, oh, I'm feeling as a woman, they're also feeling that, and it's brilliant. And that we can join together in something we all love and appreciate and can add on to the society. I think that is one of the most beautiful things. Yeah.
Take a bow, ladies. Take a bow. Do you have one more song for us? This one more somewhere?
Sure.
As we wind up, okay, as you...
Yeah. Yeah, we
Kind
do.
of Love. Sounds like a nice tune. As you figure that out, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us here at Entertainment Thursday. Good morning, Kenya. We're here every Thursday. Until next time, cheers.
Mkalawe. 5, 6, 7, start.
Mkalawe, mkalara baba, mkalara baba, mwisho huvunjika
Mkalawe. Mkalawe. Mwisho.
Mkalawe. Chovunzika gulu.
Thank you.